could withstand triple-digit valley temperatures, and it was barely 10 in the morning. An alarm beeped as I opened the front door. Inside the office, I wiped the dust from a leaf of the sad little artificial palm that sat on the floor against the wall. It looked shabby, which was no small feat for a plant that didn't need sun, water, or tender love and care. After 4 years, I would have thought my ritualistic token of attention would spruce it up. It hadn't. I waved to the camera that was mounted in the ceiling corner. It was no secret that my arrival had been monitored. Neil Lashby was the video go-to guy of the operation. He owned more cameras than I did Victoria's Secret lingerie. Sort of frightening when you thought about it. I walked through the lobby, which really wasn't a lobby, and passed into the main conference room. Riley Fuller, our 6-hour-a-day secretary, and a full-fledged, not to mention full-figured J-Lo wannabe, had a little table in one corner of the conference room where she spent her time typing reports, transcribing tapes, filing, and doing whatever other menial jobs the associates handed her. Being a licensed PI, I was above her on the food chain. But I liked to type my own reports and do my own filing, and as a result, she liked me. Important, since Neil Lashby, one of the agency's associates, was a nonverbal ex-football player, ex-cop Neanderthal-type PI. Sadie Metcalf, the second associate, was hot and cold toward me, and I hadn't yet figured out a rhyme or reason to her temperature changes. And the boss, Manny Camacho, was, well, he was just plain dangerous. Hot in a dark, sinister, attractive to every woman with a pulse kind of way. Riley was a good ally. I raised a questioning eyebrow at her as I passed her desk, as much a reaction to her newly dyed blue hair as to get the scoop on the new case we were meeting about. "Hey, Riley." She did a complicated maneuver at me with her own mousy brown brows and mouthed something. I peered at her, but try as I might, I couldn't decipher her silent words. She bugged her eyes, clamped her mouth shut, and went back to her computer when Manny walked out of his private office. He approached the conference table, a brown file folder clutched to his side. His mouth was drawn into its typical tight line, his square jaw interrupted by a slight vertical cleft. Manny's crew-cut hair was the color of dark roast coffee, which pretty much described his personality, too. He wasn't quite bitter, but he wasn't smooth either. Even the scalp that showed through his close-cut hair was burnished. He was intense and needed a bit of cream to mellow the flavor. Unfortunately, he and his cream had divorced. And that's all I knew about his personal life. The associates had already gathered around the conference table. "Morning," I said, nodding to all 2 of them. He checked his watch. "Cutting it close, Dolores." His deep voice held the hint of an accent. The way he said my name, low, gravelly, long O and rolling R, made my legs wobble. I couldn't help but wonder what it would sound like if he called me Lola instead. Breathing deeply and pushing the wayward thought away, I mustered a smile and glanced at the wall clock. The minute hand clicked up to 10 o'clock. I felt my eyebrows pull together, and I pressed my fingers to my forehead to smooth the creases away. Right on time, actually. His jaw was set, and I could tell he was clenching his teeth, holding his tension deep in his bones. He held out a file folder to me. Something about me bugged him. I just didn't know what. I took the folder from his grasp and slipped into a vacant chair at the conference table. Truth was, I didn't really want to know. Sadie sat directly across from me. As usual, her strawberry blonde hair was styled to perfection, a precise work of casual messiness. "Dolores," she said, "you really should arrive a few minutes early for meetings." Okay, so today was a cold day for Sadie. God, she acted like she owned the place. Why did Manny put up with it? I flashed her an "eat shit" smile and then opened my file folder. The agency's standard information sheet was secured to the folder with metal prongs. I looked at the photo that was clipped to the top and ticked my observations off in my head. Female, mid to late 40s, dark brown hair with a tuft of gray springing from her temple. Deep eye sockets with nearly translucent irises that hinted at the color of sand. Full pink lips, pale skin. Despite her tired look, she was still stunning, exotic. Manny sat down and slid a pile of papers to the center of the table. I snatched the last sheet from the table as he said, "Missing person." I shifted my focus back to the file folder. "Emily Diggs,